Okay, welcome to the weekly Inside Real Estate Tactics webinar. Sorry to interrupt the World Cup game. Thank you to those of you who turned that off and came here. I think we're hitting a little bit of a slowdown as we get into the summer season here. I noticed there's a little bit less of you guys on, or most of you are just, but we are getting lots of you, hundreds and hundreds, almost 1,000 of you viewing the replays. So thanks for that. This week, what I wanted to do was how to build a seller lead generation funnel with Conversion and KVCORE. So we'll be touching upon some of the features that Conversion and KVCORE have along the lines for seller lead gen, but also a general process for incubating, maybe farming digitally, digitally farming a seller prospecting area, something like that. Hey, Annalisa, can you hear me? Are you there? Looks like you are.
No!
Cool. Yeah, wasn't a big game today, but maybe I'll have to see what happens at this time next week. We might have to move the time around, priorities, but we'll see. We'll probably keep it the same. All right. All right, so let's jump into this theory here. Well, everyone else in the real estate universe is using a What's Mine Worth lead generation page. I remember creating my first one by hand on WordPress probably in like 2010 or 2011, and the whole industry is using these pages. We have them on our KVCORE and Conversion sites, and they're all fine and good. But usually what happens with these pages is you get a lot of looky-loos who just want to see the value of their property, and they kind of bounce off. They might not even own a house, and it's kind of hard to get them to give full contact info. And you guys might have experienced that yourself. But you can still generate leads, driving traffic straight to a What's My Worth page. Don't get me wrong; it's just going to be a little bit of a numbers game. You're going to have to do a lot of volume there to pull out quality.
Did you
So
need
what
to
I have?
start sharing your screen yet, sir?
Yes, I did. Thank you for the reminder. Here we
I
go.
mean, I'm here for you, buddy.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, guys. Okay, yep, there it is. Now it's on the screen, and I'll share the doc link as well for you guys. Let me get that. Here we go. Boink. Send to all. Okay, so you guys should all have the link to this doc as well now with the examples. So basically, the point here is that you probably need to do a little bit more to stand apart from the crowd if you really want to build a digital funnel that generates you high quality, people saying, hey, come list my house. I've been following you for a while. I know who you are. You're the guy, you're the gal for me. So that's what we're going to try to dig into here. Now, Conversion and KVCORE, of course, let you show some pretty juicy info to local homeowners. And you do have that What's Mine Worth page. It's another point here. And this funnel is less about quantity of leads. You're not going to see me trying to generate a lot of direct leads as we build this thing. Instead, it's more about quality. So the idea is that we're going to be building top of mind status gradually with lots of homeowners or just people who live in our farm, and this in time will lead to hot listing leads. So this isn't really so much of an instant gratification thing, even though you can get instant results. It's more about building something that's sustainable, that can reliably push listings into your inventory for you. All right. So I'm going to go through the steps. Next thing I'll say, guys, is you don't have to do it exactly like I'm doing it here. This is just what comes to mind for me and the way I would go about it. So you can riff on this, change things around, but the general idea, the general framework should serve you well. All right, so the first thing I did was I went and built a real estate transactions blog post. This is very similar to what we did probably about almost 3 months ago now when we did a real estate deals funnel. I did a whole webinar about doing a page on your blog with a list of different real estate deal types, and that's a buyer focused post. In this case, I've gone ahead and made a seller focused post. And I do plan to put a welcome video up at the top of this. Just didn't get around to it today. But basically what it says is Gulfport, Florida, real estate sales transactions. I picked a little farm, small little town. And I said, hey, here's some bonus links. It says, be sure to bookmark this page in order to see all the latest real estate transactions occurring in Gulfport. And I have some bonus links before they scroll down and they can see the latest transactions. Now, this part right here is manual, but to do this took me about 10 minutes, right? This is probably about the last week of transactions. I picked like the last 10. And if I went in once a week in any market, maybe there's 5 or 10 more, I could have an assistant do this. It'll only take a little bit. And my plan is to just gradually keep putting the latest ones up top here. You could always go and just recreate a new blog post and then paste the bonus links either at the top or the bottom every time. So what I've done with my bonus links is I've added extra things. I've done all properties currently for sale in Gulfport. That's going to go to my search for all the properties in the farm on my conversion site, which will naturally, if people engage with that, that can generate me leads, right, through the built-in lead capture. They can also go to the area page, which you can access. I don't know, a lot of people, we talk about this here and there, but there's actually, for every zip code in every city, you can go to your URL /areas/ the area. In this case, I put Gulfport. I could have also done the zip code out there and hit on the same thing right there. So I'm linking to the areas page. It gives nice, rich data. I am linking to the cell page that Conversion and Core give me. So that's at cell.php. You can find it in your navigation. So if they want to get that estimate right now, they can do that. And I've gone a little bit extra. I've always gotten a really good reply to this, whether I do it with a lead capture form or a text. It says text Gulfport property report 2. And all this is, I could have used the text codes built into the system, but this is just my personal self, because this is going to be a really hot lead, and there's nothing I'm really going to reply with instantly, which is the reason I didn't use the built-in text capture. I could have just built an auto reply that says, hey, cool, thanks, what's your address? And then they would reply with the address. But just for quickness sake this morning, I just made it go to my own cell, and it says, text that code, you can make up whatever you want, to request a detailed 20+ page report that shows you what your house might sell for. Now, obviously, this is going to be a really hot lead out of this whole process. And the thinking here is that as we build this funnel out, people are going to be seeing this page over and over and over again, and they're going to be engaging with all these links, and eventually some of them will be like, yeah, I want that juicy report there. And that's why I've gone ahead and highlighted it, made it stand out a little bit. And then I snuck a little bit of love in there for our lender, right? We talk about co-marketing a lot. Well, if they want to go ahead and refinance their property, giving my lender some love, maybe he'll pay for, Bond Street will pay for some of the traffic on this funnel. So just a little sneak, you could go to your lender. Hey, every time a seller comes through, I'm doing all this sophisticated stuff with remarketing, everything I'm about to talk about. If you want to be on that page, you can do so, and then you sneak them in there. So this is the good question, Laura. This is sort of the center of all my efforts where I'm going to be driving traffic to. And this page will probably evolve. I'll have a video on it. It'll start to look a little cooler. Maybe I'll punch it up with some images. But this is the start of it. And Laura's asking, are you building your own report to be sent to them? If they ask for this detailed report, I don't expect too many of these. I'm going to go into RPR, which I have access to. I know not all of us do. My MLS gives me easy access to RPR, and I could create a report in about 2 minutes and email it, maybe drop it in regular mail out to them. So yes, that's the answer to that. If you don't want to do this, you could just leave this step out, or just, reword it so it says text to get a professional opinion about what your house might be worth in today's market. Then you can just have a phone call with them and tell them what you think, or try to schedule an appointment to go out there. Okay, so that's the center piece of our lead gen. And it's going to be more and more interesting because this is going to get longer and longer. I plan to just leave it on this one blog post and keep republishing the blog post inside of Conversion so that it gets longer and longer. It may turn out it makes sense to just do a new one every week, but for now, I think I'm going to leave it like this. So that's that, the example post. It's the main destination for all your traffic. I'm just summarizing here. It includes links, various links, and of course, it'll only take a few minutes to update with the latest transactions there. Great question. Brian's asking, are those all your sales or all sales in the MLS? No, those are not all sales on the MLS. Those are not my sales. Those are all the sales on the MLS. So if you feel like, I didn't take much time this morning to credit the listing agent and things like that, just make sure you do that right. I just wanted to get this content prepared for you guys today. But yeah, if you have issues with showing transactions and you need to make disclosures, do that. Or if you're in an MLS where you actually can show sold properties, I don't know if some conversion sites have that or some don't, depending on what your MLS allows. You could easily take that shortcut and just directly link to those as well. Cherie's asking, are you tracking results with Google Analytics? I'm not for this. I suppose you can, but not for this funnel. I haven't really thought much about Google Analytics there. Okay, so that's the prep work. That probably take you half hour, 2 hours, whatever. You only really need to do it once, and then it's about 5 minutes a week of adding on the extra sales transactions. That's step one. Now, step two I'm going to launch an evergreen, and I'm calling it a seed Facebook ad. Um, a seed Facebook ad that sends traffic to this page. And what I mean by seed is I'm going to start to get people who probably own a home or are likely to want to know the value of their house to get going to this page so they can engage with it. And I also want to start to build some remarketing lists so they can start to send them content in the future in later steps. So the first pre-step I took in this part was I built out a niched fan page. And I have it here. It says optional. Most of us have fan pages. Let's see. Facebook threw up an error. 1 second. There we go. Here we go. So I threw up a page, Gulfport, Florida Real Estate News. I didn't take a lot of time. I just used the map view of my conversion site to put an image up top. Again, this can all be refined, but I just, money follows speed. Just wanted to get it out there. So I have a page that's kind of about Gulfport Real Estate News, and I created and that's it. So that's the pre-step. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to create a Facebook ad that is either an engagement or click campaign. So what I did was I made a pinned post on the site, and I'm going to show you how to run the ad. I haven't run the ad yet, and I want to leave it for it to do live so you see the process. But I went onto my fan page once I created it, and I created this pinned post. Just taking a second to load here. Okay, it has an image of the town. Okay, I put some sold. I use Google Draw. I put some sold signs on it to make it kind of fun. It just says, what are properties selling for in Gulfport, Florida these days? Click. This link is a quick shortened link over to all the latest sales transactions in Gulfport. And then it says you can use this link to see detailed market data, check the value of Gulfport property. Just click to see all this juicy info now. So I made a kind of a featured post that's at the top of the page. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Facebook Ads Manager. Let me go here. Choose this account. And for those of you who do a lot of Facebook ads, I wrote on the doc you can do an engagement or straight click ad. This may work better as a straight traffic campaign, but in the interest of testing it out, shortcutting, an engagement campaign will be a lot faster, and you need to put that first post on your page anyway. So, you can do this either way. I'm going to use for the example an engagement campaign. So I'm clicking create right here. Questions out. I'm going to click engagement. And I think I always anticipate this question. People will say, well, can I just boost that post? You probably can. And usually I don't recommend boosting posts because you get a lot less options, basically kind of presets a lot of things. But for the purposes of what we're doing here, and you just want to get the idea and get people in the local area looking at your ad and going over to that page, it probably would work to just boost. And it's pretty much what an engagement campaign does anyway. So click engagement. I'm going to do Gulfport, Florida sales transactions for my campaign name. Continue. And the reason, of course, we like Facebook for this is that we can get a lot of eyeballs targeted fast at a relatively low cost per engagement still. Even though the algorithm's going a little crazy now, things are getting more expensive, this is probably still the quickest way to get a lot of people in this town looking at our ads. So I'm going to choose for the area, Gulfport, Florida. I'm going to make sure it says everyone in this location. I'm going to make sure that the people who see this ad live in the location. If I want, I can go within 10 miles, or I can do current city only. I'm just going to keep it straight to the current city only. I'll pick for age people who are likely to own a home. I kind of know in this market, most of the people who at the point where they own a home are probably between 30, and older. A lot of retirees in the area. And right here in detailed targeting is a lot of, as we know, up till very recently, I don't know if they've gotten rid of it or not, or they're about to, but Facebook's going to get rid of the ability to just type in homeowner right here. I can still do it. I can type in demographics, people who own a home, and it says your audience contains interest, behaviors, demographics, which will be no longer available You can still publish, but eventually you won't be able to use these. So just a word of warning, we're getting rid of that data. I don't think it's a huge problem. I think there's other things we can do to kind of hit the same people anyway. Naturally, a certain percentage of people are going to own a home anyway, and the people who don't, maybe they'll want to buy a house, and they can engage with your site and become a lead. So you don't need to lose a lot of sleep over losing this targeting. The other thing you could do is income. Maybe you say, hey, I assume somebody who's making 75 or more in this market. Oh, they're getting rid of income too. All right, I just quit. No, I'm just kidding. So we're gonna have to get creative with the interests. But I think people 30 to 65, probably in this market, you're going to want to pick a farm where you know that most of the people seeing your ad are probably going to own a home. Let me try married. Are they still going to let us target married people? Okay, so there's one because that's native Facebook data. So there's a good one. Somebody who's married over the age of 30, pretty okay chance that they're a homeowner, right? Not 100%, but let's just say they're probably at the stage in their life where they're probably a homeowner. You could probably also pick parents, and get a little more with that. So don't let that whole targeting change thing go down with you. I would do what I just did, maybe pick married people in a certain age and just don't lose sleep over it, and we're good for now. Okay, for placements, for this campaign, I like to get rid of the audience network. You never know what kind of traffic you're getting for that, so I'll take off the audience network. But really, we're just kind of trying to get people to engage with the ad the first time so that we can retarget to them later. So it wouldn't hurt if you just left the automatic. It won't be awful. But I like to chop off the audience network. We can do only when connected to Wi-Fi for mobile devices if we want, like there. So we know they have a good connection. And then you just set your daily budget. $11 should be enough to get a nice, maybe 10 people clicking over. Hopefully I'm going to get about $1 a lead. It's very hyper local. $1 a click, maybe I'll do less. So I'll leave it at 11 right here. Click continue. You can decide on your budget compared to, based on what you want to do. Maybe you start very, very aggressively, at first, and then you, scale it back once you've built up a lot of people who've seen the page. So I got to pick my page here. For the Instagram account, we'll just pick the, make it do the selected page. I did an Instagram webinar with Gigi Dallas on Instagram about 2 or 3 years ago, and I deleted that account from my Facebook so many times that it keeps popping up again. I have no idea why. So sorry for that, Gigi. But I try to unselect it. So you can just use your selected Facebook page for Instagram, and then I'm going to click the post. Right here off of my page, my engagement post. So there's the one I just mentioned that I built. And then for the call to action, I can actually add a button right here. And I always forget that you can do that now. So I probably didn't need the link inside of the actual post, but it's not going to hurt too much. There we go. And they'll be able to click learn more right here. And that's pretty easy. I just hit confirm and my ad is live. So you could have done this again as a click campaign. I made it an engagement campaign, test it both ways, see what the cheapest, cost per click is going to be. You don't have to go crazy in the beginning doing 5 different objectives, but try different ways of, try different Facebook ad objectives, see which one performs the best for your message. And that's the one you're probably going to raise the budget on and scale. But for now, we've got that part done. Okay. And I have here, that's option 1. For option 2, I don't want to open this can of worms right now, but you could do a lead ad campaign where you require contact info before people see this post. And that's actually how I do it for the deals blog post. I generate leads for about $2 a piece, name, email, phone, for people who want to see my deals links. But in this case, the reason I'm leaning toward engagement and clicks is because I want as many people as possible hitting this page and getting cookied, being added to my custom audience, so that I can then follow them around with rich videos and other content related to market values in this town. And by putting a lead ad up, it's going to be a pretty expensive cost per lead. And those people opting in aren't exactly seller leads. It's kind of the same thing with the What's Mine Worth page. I might pay $7, $8, $9 for that lead, but they're not really saying they want to sell their house. They just want to see this data. So in this case, I'm going to be able to get them to see it at a lot cheaper cost per engagement than I would with a lead ad, but it's totally up to you how you want to do it. Okay, so that's that. We've got things moving along. We got people coming to our post from a Facebook ad. Go ahead, Annalisa.
There's a question. So Dwight's asking, hey, when they click on learn more, do they land on the post or the landing page?
Yeah, good question. They're going to land on the blog post, on this one that I have on the screen.
So they're being sent directly to the URL for the blog.
Right. And again, the reason I'm doing it that way is I just want as many people to hit this page as possible. They can become leads by engaging with any of these kind of links up top. But for the purpose of, I called it the seed campaign a few minutes ago. I want to get as many people on this list who are kind of interested in the idea of knowing what real estate transactions are going on in Gulfport as possible right now. So we're going to be generating less leads here, but let's call it more impressions. And we're going to be putting ourselves into the minds of more sellers by doing it this way.
And Carly had a question too. She goes, my Facebook ads are being denied quite often, even when I follow a step-by-step from examples. Any suggestions to why? And I think that could be a lot of factors. So we need a little more detail, I think, offline.
Yep, probably. A lot of times it could be, there's a lot of things there, but if you're mentioning the target in your ads, that could be it. Yeah, send them to us.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to ask her to email an example and a link to the ad, and then I can have you look at it and we can go from there.
Yep. Okay.
Thanks.
So that's that. We've got some seed traffic coming in. Next thing I'm going to want to do, we did a whole webinar about retargeting, but I want to kind of run through that here. I thought today would be a good opportunity to show how to build out the retargeting audience. So I'm going to go into my Facebook ads dashboard again, right here. And up here at Ads Manager, you're going to want to make sure first that you have your Facebook pixel installed on your KVCORE or your Kunversion website. On KVCORE, you can go to the website page and you can install the pixels in the website editing options. You can just go pop your pixel in. For Kunversion, you're going to need to mail the pixel to support at kunversion.com. And I want to reference the earlier webinar that you can find in the, on the videos page of the Kunversion Facebook page about retargeting for how to set up the pixel. But it's pretty easy stuff. Get that part done. Next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go and build an audience out for this traffic. So I'm going to go to audiences. Taking a second to load. And the way I'm going to build the audience, I just clicked back over. I want to kind of grab some of the stuff in my URL. So I'm going to probably get away with just picking any website URL. Anytime a page on my site is hit that has the word Gulfport in it, that's probably a good audience to build for this idea. So I'm going to go create audience, custom audience. Come on, load up for me. There we go. It took a second. And then right here, I have the option to choose all website visitors. I'm going to do people who visit a specific web page in the past, and I'm going to let this one run pretty long, 180 days, because people selling and listing their house, that's a pretty long one. I think 180 is the max. Yeah, max time 180 days. And as long as they keep staying engaged, and if you do the stuff I'm going to talk about in step 4, they're going to keep re-engaging. They should stay on this list. So I'm going to do, as long as any page contains the word Gulfport, that means they look at any listing in Gulfport, they look at this particular blog post, I should be good. So we're going to do that. Gulfport keyword visitors. I'm just naming my audience, and I'll do RH myself. And now that's created. Now, there could be 0 people on that audience now, but I can run an ad to them right away. And as people are added to that audience, they'll start seeing any ads that are targeted to that audience. That's the beauty of this. You can kind of do it all in this setup, and then it kind of dynamically fuels itself. It's a funnel. It's kind of on autopilot. You're not adding people manually to this list. You're just automatically showing them your follow-up ads. So, build my retargeting audience. And I have a second note here. If you are doing a lead ad, you could also include people who open your lead form but don't opt in that audience. So just keep that in mind for those of you who are a little more advanced using lead ads. Okay, so that's done. I've got my audience ready, right? Next thing I'm going to do, this is my weekly routine for running this funnel. I've got most of the setup done. And here's what I'm going to do every week, and I'm going to scare the heck out of you guys. It says here, post a video market update to your fan page. Now, if you do not want to do video, you can just do text, okay? If you feel better about writing and you're scared to do video, that's okay. Just do a nice long blog post with text. But basically, what I did, this is very similar to what I posted in the Facebook group about a month or two ago. It was early May, and I just did another one where I just get on, I look at the page, and I talk about what I see. It's 2 minutes long. I say, hey, here's the latest transactions. If you want to see the value of your property, text me, or go to sell.php. It's just a quick little video, and I'll leave the link for you guys to check out later if you want to kind of see how I do it. And once a week, or it could even be once every 2 weeks, maybe once a month if that's the kind of farm you have, you might get away with doing it once a month. I'm going to do some fresh content related to the market. I'm going to post it to the fan page, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run a Facebook engagement ad, and I'm going to show it to who? All the people in that retargeted audience. So let me run through that real quick. We're going to get a little repetition on ad creation today, but I don't think it'll hurt. So I'm going to go back into my, and you know what? Even to save time, let's do it like this, okay? I think you guys get the point. You saw me do it once where I created an engagement ad. Well, let's just say I just created this blog post. I don't even have to go into the ads dashboard. I think this is a perfectly relevant time to click Boost Post. And hopefully, yes, I click Boost Post, and then I could do Custom Audience. Okay, this is great. I'm glad this is coming up. You see up here where it says your ad may not run? This is something I usually always think about before I run an ad, and you need to too. I need to go back and edit this post and just put a thumbnail image up that is not, so I'd have to go here and edit that doesn't have a lot of text in it. Not too hard to do. So I would do right here where it says thumbnail. When you see that message, you're just gonna have to take a minute to do that. Here, I got lucky. I just got a picture of me looking dopey. There we go. All right. All right, so that should fix that. You have to save it at the post before you run the boost. And now if I click boost, okay, it says text, but it's probably just caching or cooking. I should be fine now. And then I can do boost, and look what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna click custom audience. All right, this is not going to work. All right, guys, this is one of the reasons I tried to riff on this. This is one of the reasons why when people ask, should I boost, this would be a case where you don't. So what's happening here is I happen to manage multiple Facebook pages, and for whatever reasons, it's picking the one that's B. It's like the first one they can find in all the list of pages I run, and it's not letting me access my custom audience. So I am going to have to do it the other way. You may get away with just doing a boosted post, and your custom audience might just be sitting there. So let me cancel that. Sorry I stumbled on that, guys, but I guess it's good recon so you don't make the same mistake. And I'll just go back into the ad dashboard. No big deal. Click create. And then I'll just do that same thing again. I'll run an engagement post. Okay, I'm going to do this quickly. I'm not going to run the whole thing, but just I want to show you where to choose the custom audience that you're going to run to. And where you choose that is right up here, which is custom audience. Right here, I can pick it from the drop down, RH Gulfport keyword visitors. In the very beginning, it won't have any reach. There's nobody on that list, maybe 2 or 3 people so far. And then you go through the rest and you pick the post on the next page of the latest update you did. Now, what's cool here is once you do one, you can actually go back whenever you do a new update. You can probably go back and edit the existing ad and just change it really quickly to the latest post. So it's like 2 minutes of work every time you create a new update. You just change it so that the latest post is showing to that custom audience. And to them, it looks like you're constantly creating fresh content. They're seeing your face in different ways. And, you know, it offers a lot of opportunity for you to build trust and gain that top of mind status. So that's what I did there. Run an engagement ad for your retargeting audience with some really good video content. Again, if you want to do just a link, you can do that as well. Okay, the next thing you're going to do, once you've run the Facebook ad, you can email a link to the update you created to relevant hashtags. And wow, I haven't really logged into Kunversion yet today, but I'll just show you how to quickly do that. So I can send it to everybody, depending on, you know, or I can go up here, I can go to quick actions, mass email, you know, and maybe I would have Gulfport sellers. I don't quite have it yet. I haven't been working this funnel. I just built it today. But, you know, Gulfport sellers, or I'll send it to everybody. I'll pick a few and just send an email. Say, hey, I have the latest update up and, you know, ready to go. You can link directly to your Facebook fan page, or you could create a blog post on your site with the update and embed the video there if you want. So that's another way to get them a touch, make sure they're re-engaging and seeing it. The next thing you're going to do, of course, is you're going to always be once a week add the latest transactions to your blog post, right? So that's always growing dynamically, or create a new blog post. And then finally, service hot inbound requests. And this is going to happen, but you need to trust the process a little bit in the beginning. If you do this, everything I just talked about, you keep at it, just give it 100 days, give it 3 months, right? And that would be maybe 4 updates a month. They would be about 10 updates. Maybe you do it every other week, and you just let this run. You set your budget. You say, I'm going to run it for $10 a day for, you know, 100 days. It's going to be $1,000. You know, do the math. People will start to know who you are. They're going to see you out in public. They're going to reply and ask you what the value of their house is, and they're going to know your name and who you are. But it's not going to happen if you only set it up and only do one market update. It's all hinges upon, you know, you doing that video or creating a post about what's going on in the market. So once that happens, you're going to service your hot inbound requests, which I'm saying will happen for you. So that's that. We all know how to once somebody says, hey, come list my house, we all know what to do from there. And that's kind of the end of the process. All right, optional steps. I'll just mention, if you want, you can also run ads that send your retargeted traffic, the people in that audience, directly to your sell.php page, right? That's this page right here. So if you wanted to have another ad running to that audience at the same time that says, hey, come and see what your house is worth, that would be kind of a cool thing to do. They've already looked once at your blog post with all the latest data. Now, a few days later, they start to see ads on Facebook for that. And notice how this isn't the first thing we're doing it after, once we know we have people who are kind of in market and in that mindset. You can also retarget them back to a deal of the week post. So if you want to do a Gulfport deal of the week, this kind of merges this whole process with our buyer side funnel, where we have our deals of the week list from a few months ago. And if you want, you can start retargeting on different traffic sources. Google Display and Google Video is probably where I'd go first. And we did a Google webinar about a month ago that talked about, you know, how to do that. So maybe you show your market update video as a YouTube skip this ad to the same audience, and maybe you have banner ads running, you know, retargeting the same exact way that we're doing it on Facebook. And that's it. Last note I had was add your updates to your site as blog posts. Basically, you know, instead of just leaving on your Facebook, you post it as more blog content as well. What do you think, Annalisa? Did I fire hose it?
What now? No, yeah, it was great content, and I was delaying a moment because I was looking for the Google. Yeah, I was looking for the Google advertisement needed, so I just posted that link into the group.
Cool, thank you. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, does anybody have any questions? Are you guys going to do this? Love to hear feedback.
And just so you know, you've got a couple of chats open down there. You go. So I think also, as you know, we're working with these sessions we do every week on Tuesdays with Ryan. We're looking for input from all of you as users as well on what you're seeking to learn more about additional tips and tricks and leveraging conversion, leveraging KVCORE. And just as a recap, Randall, so the outline and the recorded session are going to be available on our Facebook conversion page under videos. I'll go ahead and drop that link again into the discussion there too. But if anyone has any ideas on things you're curious about, how would I go about marketing to this or that type of situation, drop us a line via training@insiderealestate.com, and we will add that to the content we cover.
Cool. Yeah. Randall's asking, are the old ones there? Yeah, we've got 13 of these up so far, right on the fan page week by week. And Laura's asking, are you doing a weekly video on the market report and posting it to Facebook? Yeah, that's the idea. If you can just go grab Screencast-O-Matic, I should have mentioned that. This is the tool I use. You can use any screencasting software. And simply just you can look at my example, but just look at the page that shows recent market activity and talk about what's going on. If you feel like every week is too much, do it every other week. Do it once a month is better than nothing. And just say, hey, here I am with the latest goings on in Gulfport. And you just, in the market, say, hey, here's the latest sales. Here's the latest listings. Here's the highest price. Here's the lowest price. And just using your area page and the blog post you created on your conversion or core site will give you that content. You don't really need to think much. You just bring the page up and talk about it. Thanks, Randall. I don't want to sleep.
Carly had a good point of multitasking with that content, of using that blog post information within any newsletters you might send your clients, leads, different types of people that you're targeting. So you can build that into your newsletter as well and have that redirection. I wouldn't see why not.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the great thing about content. You can leverage it in so many ways. Once you create it, ideas are just going to come to mind. Like, oh, I did this market update. Well, let me push it here, 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 and here. And really, you could, in just 20 minutes a week, you could have a very powerful content marketing system going by just getting out there and creating that one little video or that one blog post. Definitely, yeah. Okay, thanks guys for the positive feedback. I will let you, I don't know who won the World Cup game, but I guess we'll find out in a minute once we get off. Feel free to participate in the group if you have any questions or comment on the replays. And Annalisa, if you don't have anything else, I think we can go ahead. Laura, that's a video tour I took at one point. You can pop those onto your website, yes, on the settings page, right, Annalisa?
Are you talking about the video running in the background of the website?
Yep.
So well, it depends on which dashboard you're looking at. So there's a way you do it via the KVCORE dashboard and a way you do it via the Kunversion dashboard. So what I will do is pop into each discussion group and post those how-tos. So anyone who is in this can just pop into those groups and find that content. And I'll also send them to Ryan so he can drop it into the bottom of the doc like miscellaneous links or something like that.
Cool. Yep. Okay, thanks for participation, everybody. We'll see you next week.